this is Dumont, and today I'm going to do an awesome show and tell, not a review, of this board game right here. It's called Atmosfear, The Harbingers. So it's so huge you can't really see the entire thing at once, but right here says Atmosphere, and this is The Harbingers right here. This is the box, right? It has these two creepy eyes. It's actually the eyes of the gatekeeper. What makes this board game so unique is the fact that you play this thing with a videotape. I'm pretty sure they made a modern version of this thing where you actually use a DVD, but in this one you have to use this a VHS, right? Have I played this before? Yeah, I've played this a few times. I've read up on it, did some research. It's very interesting because it's one of those perfect Halloween board games, right? The whole premise is, okay, you see this thing right here? This you put in the middle of the board, okay? And so you have this thing right out there, and you're going to attach these panels on there. The panels are like this, okay? And you're going to be walking around on these pathways, traveling around and battling, collecting, and trying to get to here, the center, as fast as you can, all right? It's kind of awesome because you could flip it both ways. You have two different sides, so it gives you a lot of different playability or replay value. You see there's 1, 2, 3, and each one is double-sided, like I said, 4, 5, and I believe 6, all right? So that's basically 12 different sides right there, and who knows how many different possibilities as you put them together. And let me try to explain briefly the idea of the game. Is this thing right here is like this pod, and I forgot what they call it, not the well of the souls or the well of something. And you see this piece of paper that's crumpled in here? You write down your fear. Each player writes down their fear, and you crumble it all up, okay? And you toss it in here, and you lock it, and put this, and just put that in the center right there, okay? So at the end, when your character gets to the center right here, that's your goal. You want to get to here. Once you get to the center, you're going to roll dice or whatever and end up opening this thing, and if you don't get your fear, then you win. If you get your fear, then you lose. Alright, so that's how you play this game. You start off as what is called a numbskull, right? Which is this thing right here. It's just a skull, and your goal is to become as fast as possible one of the main characters. So you have to evolve basically, and once you evolve, you can change it to these cooler looking instead of just a skull. Everyone starts off with a skull, and you get to evolve into one of these guys right here, which are much cooler looking, and that represents some very interesting characters. Khufu the Mummy, Anne de Chantrain, which I believe was the witch, Baron Samedi, Helen is like a poltergeist, Elizabeth Bathory, if you guys are familiar with the vampire stuff, then you know what I'm talking about. And then, so they got different characters like that. If you screw up and you don't become one of those cool, if you don't evolve in time, you end up becoming what is called this thing right here, which is a Soul Ranger. If you become a Soul Ranger, basically the game is a little bit different for you. Instead of trying to get to this fear pot over here, your goal is to hunt down the other characters, the other players. So you just turn into one of these guys instead, like a zombie. Like it's kind of like a should I say a special forces zombie, where you're just trying to take out the other players. Okay, so on the board there's going to be areas where you can battle, areas where you could evolve and get stronger. For each character, they have, like this guy right here is the wolf dude. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Gevaudan. Gevaudan. Anyway, once you collect each character, once you become a character like this, you're supposed to collect these things right here. Keystones, okay? And these keystones give you powers, so to help you move around the board better. Avoiding each other, fighting each other, blocking each other. Like a blue keystone, collect your duel cards. This keystone also allows you to dice duel with Soul Rangers. so that it gives you the power to battle. A red keystone, power to roll 1 or 2 dice. So you see what I'm saying? It gives you abilities. It makes you stronger. So you want to collect as many of these keystones as possible, and and then you'll be able to play the game a lot more successfully. So the game itself is very simple. You just you get the die, right? Just simple die. You roll it and you move your character, around the board, like so. So this is the board right here, and then you're just going to be moving around like that. So the overall concept is very simple. The whole idea of just having it in a spooky Halloween type theme is what makes this cool. The characters are very interesting. I'm going to show you some of the pictures right here. This is Elizabeth Bathory. She's this historically she's an actual historical figure. She really did exist, and she's one of the characters that was used to create the famous Count Dracula. So she is Countess Elizabeth Bathory. And then there was actually a Prince Dracula. You combine them together, you get Count Dracula. And this right here is, is a poltergeist, Helen. And so this is the Baron himself right here. So lots of interesting characters that you can choose from. This is the witch, on the Shuntrain. And this is the mummy, Kuhu. And of course, this is, I showed you guys before, the Soul Rangers. You don't want to become a Soul Ranger, but if you do, then it's you just play a different game where you're hunting people down, like I mentioned before. Let me show you guys the back of the box right here. I don't know how well you can see it because of the glare, and the box is so huge, but right here you see the very intricate and nice artwork going on there, okay? And so you can see some of the wording. Some of the characters right there, and like I said, yeah, these are the Soul Ranger guys right here. This is the gatekeeper. When you watch the video, he's pretty much the guy that is your host, okay? And when you're playing this game, like I said, I don't think you really need to play with the video with the VHS, but it's meant to be played with this videotape. And the videotape, how it is pretty much like this guy. If you've ever, Simon Says, you gotta obey all of his commands, and I know the game looks real scary, but actually when you actually watch the video and you start playing, it's real campy. This guy is, he's pretty hilarious actually, so that's what that'll give you the feel, the idea of what it's like to play with the game. He'll tell you to do stuff, and you just have to do it. And he's like, if you don't do it within 10 seconds, you'll get a penalty, or something like that. So this is how the board is going to look like when you put it all together. Okay, like I said, this is the well area, the Well of Fears, or whatever it's called. And then these are all the areas that you travel along. And like I said, you're able to put them together in different formats, so it has plenty of replay value. And this is each player's character stand right there. They put the characters there. These are the numbskulls. You start off as this before you can become that. And then they have some cards. They have some cards that you use cards for battling. So they have cards that just have numbers. It's almost kind of like just a simple game of war. The higher number wins. Okay, so let me show you guys that real quick. Like right here, 2, yeah, and then this one right here is a 6, and obviously the 6 is going to beat the 2. You have a 4 right here, so you got a 7. So it's just simple, very, very simple type of battle like that. You just have to land in the right spot to battle each other. And then you have these command cards right here that, they have wording, and they tell you what to do, Trying to show you guys more. You see, there's tons and tons of these kinds of command cards that they tell you what to do, and you got to obey those commands.